You're watching us here on a Diwali special of Mad About Markets. It's Diwali, we indulge in Ritu. What is our favorite indulgence?
Sweet, of course.
Laddus, chocolates, anything.
Or both. I mean, chocolates are really gaining traction, right? More and more hampers that are coming your way are chocolates, which you don't really share.
I don't share, I eat all of them. And that's always on top of mind. Because it's Diwali, we take those liberties. Chocolates, that's what we're talking about.
Well, that is what we're talking about, and that is what India is going to be talking about, because the entire confectionery space in the country, which accounts for all your chocolates, your hard-boiled candies, lollipops, eclairs, gums, and that's a mouthful, and mint as well, that is worth about 26,000 crore rupees as per Euromonitor. But chocolate, that is what we're talking about. That is the biggest contributor at over 15,000 crore rupees as of 2022, and it grew from a little over 12,000 crores as of 2019, and you can see the trajectory, and by 2027, it is expected to cross 23,700 crore levels. Mangalam, what is really powering this chocolate train in India other than our appetites?
Our appetites for sure, but you know, it's the classic template for Mad About Markets: growing population, growing disposable income, and it's lending itself to the growth that we're seeing in the chocolate market as well. Shifting consumer taste. People are looking at exploring newer avenues of sweet consumption, rising middle class disposable income. They've been key growth drivers for the mass chocolate market, which accounts for majority of the 15,500 crore that Ritu just spoke about. But increasingly, there is a fascination, love for international luxury chocolate experiences. There are a lot of local artisanal brands coming in, and now there is also the increased awareness of health benefits of dark chocolate. Whatever be the reason, people are spending a lot of money, and a lot of waste share is what the chocolates are gaining these days.
Well, a lot of people are gaining waste share, like you said, but these companies are making lots of money. We'll quickly introduce our guests that have all the insights we need today. We have R.S. Sodhi, the Managing Director of Amul, with us. Also, Vikram Karwal, the Senior Director, Marketing at Mondelez India. And also joining us on the program is Kalpesh Parmar, the Country General Manager of Mars Wrigley India. Gentlemen, thank you and welcome on the show. Vikram, I'll start with you. You know, over the years, how has Mondelez increased the market around chocolates? Could you give us some numbers on what kind of consumption trends you're seeing, the occasions when chocolates are used, etc.?
Yeah, I think our endeavor over the years in Mondelez has been to drive penetration for the chocolate category and also improve consumption, not just in urban areas, but also in rural areas by driving relevance for the category on different occasions. Also by introducing different products which cater to different needs for the consumers. So the penetration of the category today stands at about 40%. Which means 40% of the consumers are consuming chocolate category at least once a year. And we have also delivered very strong and relevant communication over the years, which has engaged consumers with the category and driven consideration.
Take your point on all those factors that you spoke about, because Mondelez has been the key. For India, chocolate market equates to Cadbury Dairy Milk, as we'll find out now. But we also have Kalpesh with us. Kalpesh, you know, from a Mars Wrigley standpoint, we have seen a lot of growth drivers. What, according to you, are the drivers, and how big, importantly, can it be going forward?
The chocolate category in India is still at a nascent stage. The consumption in India is probably anything around 300 grams per person per annum, depending on what research piece you see. That means the category is, the chocolate category in India is close to 15,000 crores. Yeah. Now, there is a trend of health and wellness. Apart from that, there is a trend of indulgence or small moments of happiness. So if you combine and give people a bit of nuts, a bit of chocolate, a bit of packaged quality products, that's where this category can go from the current 15,000 crores to probably 150,000 crores in the next 10 to 20 years. Yeah, as long as we are able to give the right quality at the right price, at an affordable price. It's not just about operating in the large cities, but how do we have these products offered in markets like Allahabad and Indore also, and not only in the metros. Of course, during COVID, what happened is people were more comfortable while working from home. They wanted to also snack at home. And that's where their comfort level with packaged foods, snacks which are packaged, grew a lot more. And that's where we've been seeing some great growth in the range of 10% in terms of CAGR. And I think this should continue. As I said, the category should grow from 15,000 crores to much higher numbers in the next 10 to 20 years. And the immediate 3 years also looks pretty exciting.
Well, the pandemic snacking is taking some time to get rid of, but we've heard from the international players. Mr. Sodhi, for you, how important is chocolate as a category? Of course, Amul has a great brand, great recall, but Indian players like Amul do have a lower market share.
Well, first thing, let me tell you, chocolate category is a growing category in India because now everybody wants to consume cocoa-based, some sweet things. So, and chocolate meets that requirement. Now, Indian chocolate market is around, as per our estimate, 15,000 crore per annum. It's growing at the rate of 15 to 16%. But Amul is in a different category. We are not in the usual category of chocolate with more of sugar and other products. We are, for the last 4 or 5 years, we are stressing more on more cocoa-based, where chocolate content is or cocoa content is more, maybe 55%, 75%, 85%, even 99%. And right now, if you see value-wise, we are number 4, but volume-wise, we are number 3. And our market share today is around 3 to 4%. Okay. And we have seen in that category, growth is coming maximum. I mean, we put up a new plant just 3 years back, which are 5x of a capacity. And now we are again doubling it. And the way we are growing, the growth rate is 40-50%. I think in next 2 years, Amul will be a 1,000 crore rupees brand as far as niche dark chocolate are concerned.
Well, look, hang on, gentlemen. We're going to talk about the components of the chocolate market as well. But before we do that, Mangalam, what is your favorite kind of chocolate?
Any kind of chocolate is my favorite, but the one that I actually prefer is the ones which have wafer inside it. It's crunchy and it's got chocolate and it's just all things amazing.
Well, you know what? You're in the minority here because what India really loves, because half of the chocolate consumed in India, it is actually in the form of tablet bars, the kind you see from Dairy Milk, Nestle, Amul, etc. And that is almost 45% of the market. 29% is count lines, what you like. That is chocolate filled with nuts, wafers, or toffee, like your 5-star, your Munch, your Snickers, Kit Kat, and whatnot. Then you have your chocolates and pouch packs. That's about 11%. A lot of this, us bought this on our birthdays to take to school, right? And then you have chocolates that have toys, which are gaining massive popularity. Kinder Joy, you know what I'm talking about. And then 5% is the rest of the market. Now, in what form does India really consume chocolate? The most commonly found one is still milk chocolate, accounting for about 58.5% of the market. Then you have your filled chocolates, the kind you like, about 31%. And 7.7% is dark chocolate. But don't be fooled by the small share of the dark chocolate, because this is the category which has been growing faster than the industry, and it increased from about 6.5% all the way to 7.7% in just a span of 3 years. So the question, Mangalam, really is dark chocolate the dark horse of the chocolate industry?
I think you were waiting to make that word joke, right? But at lower levels as well, what it does is it's commanding a fair amount of premium, and increasingly consumers are preferring that, because we had a survey conducted by Mintel. They said that 37% of Indians strongly associate dark chocolate with health benefits. 39% said that they may also buy chocolates with added vitamins, minerals, etc. And 44% are willing to put their money where their mouth is. They are willing to pay a premium for healthier chocolate. So keeping these things in mind, companies have also tried to increase their customer base into the health conscious by introducing sugar-free, low sugar, organic, vegan, gluten-free chocolates for all kinds of diet and health preference. Kalpesh, you're talking about chocolates being an indulgence, but a lot of people are increasingly getting health conscious. How do you convince health conscious consumers to actually go ahead and consume more chocolate?
This category, as I said in the beginning, will grow 10x in the next 1 or 2 decades if we are able to combine these experience along with health and well-being related products. Like in US today, we have a product called Kind, which is large amount of nuts with chocolates. So as we move towards a chocolatey experience with a lot of health and well-being included in that, that's where the category will explode.
Well, healthier chocolates to increase their penetration. But Mr. Sodhi, let me come to you because, Amul is in the premium category products largely. But the scale and mass, that still belongs to the smaller price points of 5, 10, 20 rupee chocolates. What are your plans on that front?
In Indian market is for the lower end of the market is a bigger scale. And we are going to be in that category. We have got 5 rupees, 10 rupees chocolate. The wafer chocolates are there. Even our regular milk chocolate is there. So we'll be there in lower end of the market also. But when it comes to the dark chocolate, more cocoa content chocolate or high-end chocolate, I think Amul is the market leader today.
Okay, you want to be the market leader in the dark variant, but also looking at mass products. But Vikram, I mean, how do you, convince the health-conscious consumers to go ahead and consume chocolate? I mean, what are the potential growth for sales in that?
A lot of consumers are becoming health conscious and they are looking for portion control, but they're also looking for permissible indulgence. That's another important trend, right? Consumers do believe that it's important to have a healthy diet, but a little bit of indulgence is also part of that healthy diet, right? So that's an important thing to keep in mind, and that's where we come in, right? See, we are a snacking company, and this is an important issue that is facing our society, and there is no one silver bullet for this. We are in the business of snacking. We want to build the right snack for the right moment. But we also want consumers to snack responsibly, right? So we are taking a few initiatives at our end. For example, we want to make sure that the consumers are snacking mindfully and they have all the information on the pack, on the back of the pack, on the front of the pack. We're also focused on making sure that we are improving our current portfolio as much as possible. We are trying to reduce sodium, we are trying to reduce sugar, and we are trying to reduce saturated fat from our products.
Take your point, Vikram, and what you do will have ramifications on the industry itself. Let's talk about the industry. And if the color of my jacket is something to go by, we will know who the leader in the chocolate industry is. It's Mondelez, the owners of Cadbury, and they are a leader by a distance, 57.5% market share as per Euromonitor. And just to tell you the scale of their dominance, they're 3.5 times their next biggest player. That is 16% market share coming in for Munch and Kit Kat owners Nestle. The third one is Ferrero Rocher, increasing its presence because of the toy chocolate. We have Mars, which has 2.5% market share. Hershey is at 1.2%. Interestingly, majority of the market is still consolidated within the MNC pack. The top 6, we have just one Indian player, GCMMF, which owns Amul at 1.1% market share. In terms of popular brands, I mean, it is understandable that dairy milk will still rule the hearts and mouths of Indians, 30% market share. But we've seen a big jump in the market share of Kinder Joy, 7.3%. Maybe kids loving the toys that come with it. 7% share for Gems and 5-star each. And the Nestle brands, Munch and Kit Kat, 6% each. Ritu, of all these, which is your favorite?
Well, it depends on the day, on the mood, because you know what chocolate really is as a category is an impulse category. 96% of it is still sold offline. Now, within that, about 77% is sold through small local grocers, 13% through super and hypermarkets, about 3.1% through food, drinks, tobacco specialists. And I hope people who've been advocating how UPI has killed toffee, we've debunked that enough and more on the channel. Now, retail e-commerce, it is still about 4.2% of the overall sales of all chocolates in India. But innovations have been driving growth lately, and we have seen some interesting launches come in from the MNCs. First, let's talk about Mars. Now, Snickers launched Kesar Pista in India in 2022. Double Mint had Pan Mint for India, and Orbit had Raw Mango in 2020. Mondelez too has a Cadbury Dairy Milk with less than 30% sugar and a Dairy Milk variant where, as they customize Cadbury celebrations and gift boxes for e-commerce, you also have Amul, which is the leader of the premium dark chocolate market with 75%, 90%, 99% and as much as 100% dark chocolate options that are available in the market. I don't know how many takers there are for it yet, but it's a fast-growing category.
It seems like there are a lot of takers for the Kesar Pista Snickers. I personally tried it. It wasn't good as compared to the original Snickers, but I get why a lot of people might like that little bit of Indianness in their chocolate.
Well, not for me.
Well, let's ask that to Kalpesh itself. Kalpesh, isn't it ironic that when you want to grow international flavors and the experience and yet launch something like Kesar Pista Snickers, what was the rationale behind that?
I think local flavors and inclusions are the way to win in snacking category. Yeah. And again, when it comes from globally loved brands like Snickers, or Galaxy, the acceptance from the consumer increases. Why? Because in today's world, we are in a phygital world. So while people shop in a local grocery store or a supermarket store or an e-commerce channel, but it should have a social media value. It should be an experience of that brand, which can give them that international experience. So once you combine these things, I think there is a sweet spot sitting.
Well, let's go even more hyper-local. And Vikram, let me put that question to you. Could you give us some sense of the penetration of brands in rural and urban markets? And what are some of the consumption trends that you're seeing playing out there?
Rural is a very important market for us. Rural contributes almost 1/3 of our business, right? And if you look at the FMCG industry, it will be contributing roughly 1/4 of the consumption that happens in FMCG. So rural is a very, very important driver for us. I think in terms of penetration of the category in rural, it will definitely be lower than urban. But we have also seen a dramatic change in the last few years. People are able to afford premium products now in rural. Penetration of the category is increasing. Plus, our presence in rural markets and our distribution is also increasing. We are focusing a lot on data, on technology, on our presence. We are building our cold chain very aggressively in rural areas so that consumers are able to access those products which they used to in urban India equally well in rural India as well. They are able to get the same range of products, same choices that the urban consumer is enjoying today in rural areas as well. So that has been our focus to drive rural growth. We definitely see penetration growing, consumption growing, and more importantly, relevance of the category growing in rural areas as well.
All right, gentlemen, hang in there. We'll head into a short Kit Kat break. Not sponsored by Kit Kat, but we will eat one. And on the other side, we'll talk about what's helping float the chocolate industry's boat. And we talk about the key challenges facing the sector in yays and mays.
But as always, we'll also ask a bigger question, and that is, in this MNC-dominated market, can Indian brands get a bigger piece from the chocolate industry?